Ianis Haji wants Rangers exit as vanquished Europa League opponents. Danilo transfer Rangers to sanction exit after surprise verdict. Jack Butland set for Rangers return after Liam Kelly injury news. Kris Boyd destroys Nedim Bajrami as Rangers exit claim made. Want to see these and more Rangers news? Stay until the end. It looks like Ianis Haji is indeed set to walk out of Ibrox at the end of the season, and for absolutely nothing, not a single penny. Now, the lad's been a bit of a mystery this season after being frozen out early doors by Philippe Clement. Cheers for that one. He's fought his way back into the fold under Barry Ferguson, even playing his part in that gutsy goalless draw against Athletic Bilbao with only 10 men on the pitch. You can't fault the work rate, and he's chipped in with 3 goals and 7 assists in 28 appearances this season. Not exactly world-beating, but certainly not invisible either. But here's the kicker. His contract is up in June, and rather than tying him down, it sounds like Rangers have left the door wide open, and HaGi, he's walking through it. Reports say he's turned down new terms, and his agents are already busy drumming up interest. Who's sniffing around? Fenerbahce. That Fenerbahce, the same mob we booted out of Europe on penalties not long ago, the same Fenerbahce now managed by none other than Jose Mourinho. Now, here's where it gets spicy. Haji's da, Gheorghe Hagi, the legend himself, once played for Galatasaray. You couldn't script this. Could you imagine the meltdown in Istanbul if the sun ends up at their bitter rivals, and what do Rangers stand to gain? Nothing. Not one coin. A player we paid a decent fee for back in January 2021, who's produced nearly 20 goals and 28 assists for the club, is about to walk out the front door with his boots in hand and his pockets full, thanks to a free transfer. You've got to ask yourself this: if there's still a spark left in Ianis Haji, if the right manager could build him into this new-look squad the 49ers are planning, are Rangers making a massive mistake letting him go for free? Or, and here's the big one, are you comfortable with the idea of a player who claims to love the badge, turning down new deals and making eyes at the club we just humiliated in Europe? Should Rangers let Haji go for nothing? Or has he disrespected the jersey by entertaining a move to a club we've just put out of Europe? Danilo, where do you even begin with this one? Signed with such fanfare from Feyenoord in 2023, AI signing worth around £6 million, full of flair and promise. A Brazilian forward ready to dazzle the Ibrox faithful. But instead, you've had to watch from the stands as injury after injury kept him out like a samba tune stuck on pause. Now, it looks like Rangers are set to cut their losses and sanction his exit in the summer transfer window. Can you really blame them? The lad's barely strung a consistent run of games together, and when he has featured, it's not exactly been the stuff of legends. 5 goals and 4 assists in 18 league matches. Decent on paper, but not what you'd expect from someone brought in to lead the line with that kind of price tag. He wasn't even used off the bench in the 0-0 draw against Athletic Bilbao, a match crying out for something different up top. It's no wonder whispers are growing louder that Rangers will look to take whatever they can get for him this summer. The Scottish game just hasn't suited him. Harsh weather, heavy pitches, and referees who think a flying elbow is just strong play. It's not Copacabana, is it? Johnny McFarlane reckons the writing's on the wall, and honestly, it's hard to disagree. With the 49ers enterprises edging closer to their takeover, they'll have big decisions to make, starting with who leads the line next season. Danilo's situation only adds to a growing list of uncertainties up front. Hamza Igimenez still finding his feet, and while Cyril Desires is getting the nod under Barry Ferguson, let's face it, you've seen him miss sitters from 6 yards more than once. The fear now is simple. If Danilo goes, Dessers flatters to deceive, and Hamza doesn't catch fire, Rangers could head into next season with no real firepower. And if that happens, you can kiss the title goodbye. before a ball's even kicked. Here's the real question for you. Has Danilo actually let Rangers down? Or were we fools to think a £6 million Samba striker could ever survive the scrap and slog of Scottish football? Well, here we go again. Just when you thought the goalkeeper debate was settled, Rangers throw you another curveball. Jack Butland, who looked nailed on as our number one not long ago, was dropped for the Bilbao match after that horror show against Hibs. You don't need reminding, it was grim viewing. But now, after Liam Kelly put in a man of the match performance midweek, saving a penalty and pulling off 3 crucial stops, the injury curse may have struck again. Kelly, who was nothing short of heroic under the lights at Ibrox, now looks a doubt for Sunday's clash against Aberdeen, and that means one thing: Butland might just be walking straight back into the side. Now, let's be real for a second. Butland has bailed Rangers out countless times this season. I found he's not suddenly turned into a dud overnight. Maybe getting benched was the kick up the backside he needed, a wee mental reset. But coming back in cold against a blood and thunder trip to Pittodrie, that's no stroll in Kelvin Grove Park. Ferguson's got a decision to make, and fast. Does he risk Kelly's fitness ahead of a massive return leg in Spain, or does he hand the gloves back to Butland and hope the old magic reappears? You don't need a crystal ball to know what's at stake. The league's a write-off at this point, thanks to the usual help Celtic seem to get from officials and fixture lists. So all eyes are on that Europa League run, and with Aberdeen lying in wait, desperate to spoil anything we've got left, it wouldn't surprise me if Ferguson opts for heavy rotation to protect his big hitters. But even in a so-called meaningless league game, you can't afford to gift points, not in this country. The Sharks circle fast. But here's where it gets juicy. Should Jack Butland be allowed back in just like that after one mistake cost him his place? Or has Kelly done enough to keep the jersey even if he's only half fit? Right, this one's going to ruffle a few feathers because Chris Boyd hasn't held back, and frankly, why should he? Rangers splashed out £3 million last summer to bring in Nedim Bajrami from Sassuolo, expecting a creative spark, a midfield maestro, someone who could dance through defenses and make something happen. But what you've got instead is, well, 2 goals and 1 assist in 24 league appearances. For that kind of outlay, you expect more than just a decent first touch and the occasional sideways pass. And now, according to Boyd, the Albanian is playing for his Ibrox future. That's not just a warning shot, it's a cannon blast across the Clyde. Boyd called him a huge disappointment, and honestly, it's hard to argue. With the Europa League quarter-final looming, Barry Ferguson is expected to rest key names against Aberdeen, and that could open the door for Bajrami to finally show something. But if all he does is jog around Pittodrie like it's a kickabout in Bella Houston Park, you can bet your last pie he'll be out the door this summer. Let's not sugarcoat it. Bajrami hasn't looked up to the pace or the fight of Scottish football. His output's been poor, and there's zero presence off the ball. You need dig, drive, and determination to wear the Rangers badge, not just pretty touches in training. With the 49ers Enterprises takeover closing in, the pressure's on to clear out the deadwood, keeping players on big wages who aren't pulling their weight. That's a luxury Rangers simply can't afford if the aim is to overhaul Celtic and build a squad worthy of competing on both domestic and European fronts. Here's the real question. Has Nedim Bajrami already run out of rope at Ibrox, or is one last chance against Aberdeen actually more than he deserves at this point? If you haven't seen yesterday's video yet, you're missing out. Explosive news about Rangers that'll leave every fan stunned. Go check it out now.